Welcome, adventure, to Asmodeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Lord Gareth with Asmodeah, and I really appreciate you visiting us here at Asmodeah City. Thank you so much for being here, and we would really appreciate it if you would help us grow this channel by smashing that subscribe button, hitting that like button, and of course, comment if you want. Certainly if you have questions, if I missed something, if I misstated something, please, let me know. Or if you just like what we're saying, give us a little shout out and say that you like what we're saying. It makes us want to do more. So please do that for us. We would really appreciate it. So now what we're talking about today, and again, we're in the Foundry VTT. And for those of you that may have started watching this video and you don't know what that is, or maybe you play on Foundry VTT, but you're not creating adventures in Foundry VTT, this video is not going to be for you. You don't want to waste your time because this is going to probably bore you to death. Well, I mean, I guess unless you want to know how we do things kind of in the background, which is cool. But this is really designed for game masters that are building out adventures, building out maps, and making things fun for you players. So that's really what this is all about. So today, we're going to be talking not about modules, although I just did one on modules, and I'm going to link to that in a minute, and you'll find out why when I say that. Today we're talking about using custom token artwork, and many of you may know about it, but kind of don't really use it because you just kind of use what's baked into Foundry, and there's a ton baked into Foundry. But there's also a ton of stuff out there that's, I mean, some of it is amazingly cheap for what you get. I'm going to show you in a second. And I'm going to put a link in the description to one of my favorites, which is Wildfur, and it's spelled a little differently. But I'm going to show you some of his stuff. And, I think I spent a total of maybe $15, $20 so far. And I've got literally hundreds of little token artwork pieces that I can use throughout my map to make it so much cooler, so much more interesting. So, but I want to show you kind of certainly the three basic ways that you can use this custom token artwork. You could even use it if you want for player character that's actually coming in. This is an NPC that I have right here. This is my buddy Gendon. Now that I made at, and I'll link to this as well in the description, that I made at Hero Forge, and that's actually my character built out the way I wanted him to be built out, and then put into a frame and then made into a token. So it's really cool because you can make this custom token artwork that you can give to us, game masters, and then we can assign them to your player. So it's really very cool the way you can use this. But let's look at a couple of practical applications of doing this. So let's say we've got this room, and the game master says to you, and you entered this room, and you roll a perception because you see a cabinet over there, and he says, well, looks like just a cabinet to you, and maybe you rolled a 4, and he goes, to you it looks just like a cabinet. You don't have any problem, even with your passive perception, you don't notice anything weird. But what you're looking at is a blank room. So how much fun is that? I mean, I totally get the idea of theater of the mind, because that's what we do, is we give you scenarios, because there's only so much that we can, show you here. And actually that list of things that we can't show you is shrinking rapidly. I'm going to be doing some videos on another module process for Foundry that it will blow your mind. It's just incredible what you can do with it. But I digress. So anyway, you walk into this room and you don't see anything visually. You're not seeing anything, but the DM says you did. Well, okay, how about let's change that? So he says directly in front of you when you walk into the room, you notice at the far wall, at the west wall, there is a cabinet. And on top of that, a cabinet appears to be a book. And okay, so blah, 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 you go about your gameplay. Okay, so that's what would happen here if we didn't use any custom token artwork, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to this little tile option here, and I'm going to select the place tile. Many of you may not have even used this because you're kind of like, well, no, it's a tile. What's tile? So a tile is something that becomes part of the map. I mean, part of the map, not on the map. It's part of the map, right? So in this case, I'm gonna say I want to put a cabinet in this area here. Now, I could make this cabinet 1 square, or I can make it 2 squares, or I can make it 3 squares. And so I'm going to make it 3 squares to start. So I've just created this new tile, or at least I'm starting to. And the very first thing it asks you for is an image or video, which is so cool when you do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, and you'll see I'm in, let me go to the top. So these are all the token packs that I have in. Most of these are baked into Foundry. But you'll notice there's furniture 3, because this is actually furniture 2. I just didn't name it that. And then gnomes that I've added to this. And we're going to use all 3 of these here. So I'm going to get a cabinet from this furniture pack. And you can, by the way, just do a kind of filter your results here. So I'm just going to type in cabin, and there I've got a bunch of different cabinet packs. And again, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of items that come in these packs that are just dirt cheap, and it just cracks me up. It's amazing. But I think the one I like is this one. Yeah, it's, wait a minute. Is it this one? No. You know what? I think it was in Furniture 2. Maybe. Let's look in here, because I'm pretty sure. No, it was back in. Well, let's just try one of these. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so here we go. Here we've got a cabinet. And you'll notice some of these have doors open. Now, when you're creating a tile, you can't really interact with the item because it's not an item. It's in the map. It's baked into the map. But if it's an item, you could create, and you know what? I'll just show you how we do that, because you can actually have it so that they can open it, and you can put in the artwork to show that it's open, and you can even make sounds out of it. So it's very cool. Now, the way I'm going to show you that is through another video that I just did on a module called Item Piles, and you'll see a little card pop up about that, and I'll also link to it down in the description that will take you to that video that I just did. It is so cool. When I got it, I just dug into it because I couldn't believe how cool it is. So, but in this case, we're just going to create this vertical cabinet that's up against the wall, right? So I'm going to click that. I'm going to select it. And now I get this ginormous cabinet here, right? So now I don't want to create another one, so I'm going to go to the select option, click on this, and I'm just going to make it fit this area. And let's see, that's probably good. And actually, you know what? So you'll notice this will tend to snap to either the grid or half the grid. It tends to like try to fit in the grid. I got a jet or something going on over me right now, so bear with it. Sorry about that. So what you can do is, as you start to move it, hold the shift key down, and now you've got kind of free reign. And by the way, you can reverse it just by doing that. But you got kind of free reign on what you could do. So I can make it be exactly the size I want. So I want it to be that size. So then I'm going to let go of shift, and there you go. So now, again, I can move this and hold the shift, and so I place it exactly where I want it to be, right? So there we go. So now we've got this tile that's sitting here in the room. Now, let's say if I wanted to put a book on top of here, I could create another tile, by doing this and then going in and selecting the book, and then, you know, putting it on top of this cabinet. And by the way, when you do that, you'll notice when you right click on here, they've got these arrows that show, this says, you know, bring to front, this says send to back, put it on the floor, put it on the ceiling. You know, there's all sorts of different options that you have there to do that. But in this particular case, I don't want to put the book on top here as a tile, because I want to actually put it on as an item, because I want them to be able to interact with it, right? But I'm going to use custom artwork to do that. So it's really cool. So I'm going to click out of that. So now this is baked into, and he can walk on it, right? Which you don't want. So what I will do to fix that problem is I have this invisible wall that's here, and I'm just going to change the shape of, oh, I don't want to do that. Actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm just going to delete it. Oh, shoot. Hit the right button, dude. There we go. Select. That's what I want to do. I want to select that. Let's select this, and I'm gonna get rid of those. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that I had left one sitting there. So anyway, let's say we want to make it fit right over that. So I'm gonna go over here to the walls, and I'm gonna make it a hidden invisible wall because I don't want it to, have a problem with light. And I've got actually a cool little module in here that helps me really make very cool walls in very precise ways. So I'm just going to put this around that. And there we go. Now it's an invisible wall. So now if we go back to our buddy Gendon, I can, because I'm the GM, I can do anything I want. But if the player was to try to walk on that, they'd get that message that says, you can't walk through a wall, dude. So it'll basically just tell them that. So, all right, so here we go. We've got our cabinet. We've got a wall around our cabinet that's invisible, so he can't walk into it. And now I want to actually put a magic book on here. Now I have this magic book already made, and this is artwork that I have from this furniture pack. It's the same artwork. And so I'm just going to drag this out, and I've got this comes from that Item Piles module. So go watch that video. It's very, very cool. So I've got this book, and of course it's ginormous, so we want to change that. So I'm going to go in here, and under Appearance, I'm going to scale that puppy down quite a bit, probably there. Yeah, that's probably good enough. And then I'm going to rotate it by holding the Shift key and then using my mouse wheel. And I'm going to make it kind of stick out the top a little bit, and I'm holding the Shift down to place it exactly where I want. So now there's a book sitting on top of there, but the cool part is they can interact with it. Now I don't want this name to be on here, so it drives me crazy that happens. So I'm just going to put never displayed. All right, so now there's just a book that's sitting there. So good old Gendon comes in, and now you see a cabinet across the room on the west wall, and there appears to be a book on top of it. And Gendon says, really? Now he's not a warlock, he's a fighter, but you get the idea that now Gendon can come in here and he can go, oh, a book, and he can double click on it, and oh, it's the Magic of Nomengard, and it's a spell book. Look at that. And oh, it's got all these little spells in it. I mean, so see how cool this is that you can do some of this stuff? I mean, it's amazing. And you can change this book to be whatever you want. You can, make it bigger, smaller, a different color. It could be a parchment. It could be pretty much anything that you want. Now, one of the things, the last thing I'm going to show you about this is I want to create another tile, but this time I want to make a little lantern. And so I'm just going to do this little quarter size. And I'm going to come in here, and I happen to know that in the furniture, I think it's furniture 2. Yeah, it's not in this one, I don't think. Let me look down at the bottom here. And yeah, I don't see. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that is it. Okay. And it's actually at an angle right where I kind of want it to be. So I'm going to pick this one. Okay. Why? Oh, it's because I'm scrolling in the wrong spot. I'm like, what's going on here? I was about to stop the video and go, wait a minute, something's wrong. All right, so select that as the artwork. I'm going to place it there. So now I have this cool little lantern here, and I'm actually going to move it and hold the Shift and then move it right against the wall, like it's literally on the wall, right? And then I'm just going to come over here, and I'm going to create a new light source. And let's make it about like that. And again, I can use this and move it and then hold the Shift and place it right over the top of and you notice the light is blocking or being blocked by the actual wall there. So I can put it right on there. And then I'm going to go in and change this to like almost like a burnt orange color. And then I'm going to go into light animation, and I'm going to say it's a torch, make it a little faster and a little more intense. And I think that is where I want, the color intensity I want to be up just a little bit more. There we go. And then I update the light source. And so now our buddy Gendon, even if he doesn't have a torch, will be able to see, and he happens to have dark vision, so he can see for 60 feet anyway, but you'll notice this little lantern is now glowing there in the corner. So this kind of stuff just brings out the life in your maps. And it will just the little touches that make something different. Like it's silly to have two characters in a room that are arguing with each other that have no light around them, right? And I mean, of course, unless they're, their particular race allows them to see in the dark. But, the bottom line is that it just gives this little kind of added feel to it. And if you go watch that other video on item piles, you're going to see how you can actually interact with that stuff and do what I just did, where I opened up the book and it had, the book there for the players to see. You can even put currency in it. You can change the currency. Go watch that video. I'm telling you, it will blow you. You even make a noise when they open a chest or open a cabinet or, walk in through. I mean, it's just amazing what can be done with it. So go check out that video too. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. Let you guys have a break for me talking, and hope you enjoy this. I hope it helps you a little bit. I hope it gives you some inspiration to really kind of make this more fun for your players, because I know it's work, but you know what? In the end, when your players kind of go, oh, cool, when they see this stuff, it's all worth it. It makes it all worth the effort. So again, do us a favor, please help grow this channel. Smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and do share this content with others. Let them know about it, and comment on this, would you? Tell me if I'm doing a bad job, a good job, not enough of a job, too much of a job. Just tell me. I've got thick skin. I've been a GM long enough. I can deal with it, so it's not a problem. Again, anyway, thank you. This is Lord Gearth with Asmodeah, and as always, as you're adventuring, be kind, be nice, have fun, peace.